Nice agent a vin pote toute information ba ou. Que c'est l'en acheter kay, que c'est l'en vendre kay, que c'est louer kay, que c'est ranger kay. Toute information qu'on besoin chaque mardi à 5h de l'après-midi dans Facebook page One Shop.
Mes amis fanatiques Kenya Haïti yo, est-ce que nous follow groupe qui est les acheter Paul là déjà? Si vous faites ça qu'on y a. Parce que moi, mon bon ami qui est The Nice Agent, nous fait un travail extraordinaire dans la communauté. Un travail excellent.
Moi, c'est The Nice Agent. Mabdou, chaque mardi, 5h de l'après-midi, Facebook page One Show, pam, live. Vinter de acheter Paul. Oui, côté The Nice Agent, a vin pote toute information ba ou. Que c'est l'en acheter kay, que c'est l'en vendre kay, que c'est louer kay, que c'est ranger kay. Toute information qu'on besoin chaque mardi à 5h de l'après-midi dans Facebook page One Show, pam.
Mes amis fanatiques Kenya Haïti yo, est-ce que nous follow groupe qui est les acheter Paul là déjà? Si vous faites ça qu'on y a. Parce que moi, mon bon ami qui est The Nice Agent, nous fait un travail extraordinaire dans la communauté. Un travail excellent.
Moi, c'est The Nice Agent. Mabdou, chaque mardi, 5h de l'après-midi, Facebook page One Show, pam, live. Vinter de acheter Paul. Oui, côté The Nice Agent, a vin pote toute information ba ou. Que c'est l'en acheter kay, que c'est l'en vendre kay, que c'est louer kay, que c'est ranger kay. Toute information qu'on besoin chaque mardi à 5h de l'après-midi dans Facebook page One Show, pam.
Mes amis fanatiques Kenya Haïti yo, est-ce que nous follow groupe qui est les acheter Paul là déjà? Si vous faites ça qu'on y a. Parce que moi, mon bon ami qui est The Nice Agent, nous fait un travail extraordinaire dans la communauté. Un travail excellent.
Moi, c'est The Nice Agent. Mabdou, chaque mardi, 5h de l'après-midi, Facebook page One Show, pam, live. Vinter de acheter Paul. Oui, côté The Nice Agent, a vin pote toute information ba ou. Que c'est l'en acheter kay, que c'est l'en vendre kay, que c'est louer kay, que c'est ranger kay. Toute information qu'on besoin chaque mardi à 5h de l'après-midi dans Facebook page One Show, pam.
Mes amis fanatiques Kenya Haïti yo, est-ce que nous follow groupe qui est les acheter Paul là déjà? Si vous faites ça qu'on y a. Parce que moi, mon bon ami qui est The Nice Agent, nous fait un travail extraordinaire dans la communauté. Un travail excellent.
Moi, c'est The Nice Agent. Mabdou, chaque mardi, 5h de l'après-midi, Facebook page One Show, pam, live. Vinter de acheter Paul. Oui, côté The Nice Agent, a vin pote toute information ba ou. Que c'est l'en acheter kay, que c'est l'en vendre kay, que c'est louer kay, que c'est ranger kay. Toute information qu'on besoin chaque mardi à 5h de l'après-midi dans Facebook page One Show, pam.
Mes amis fanatiques Kenya Haïti yo, est-ce que nous follow groupe qui est les acheter Paul là déjà? Si vous faites ça qu'on y a. Parce que moi, mon bon ami qui est The Nice Agent, nous fait un travail extraordinaire dans la communauté. Un travail excellent.
Moi, c'est The Nice Agent. Mabdou, chaque mardi, 5h de l'après-midi, Facebook page One Show, pam, live. Vinter de acheter Paul. Oui, côté The Nice Agent, a vin pote toute information ba ou. Que c'est... Bonsoir tout le monde, nom c'est Carl Christian, on regarde un show que les acheter Paul. Acheter Paul, son show que nous fait pour nous porter toute information que nous gagnons, que ce soit là en fait acheter ranger vendre louer pour communauté. On bagay que moi toujours dit, on moun pas prend avantage de ou, moun nan prend avantage de ignorance. Ça seulement que nous demandons partager show. Je dis nous avons moun avec nous que nous pral parler en pile anglais et puis n'a traduit en pile. C'est Michael fait assurance santé. So nous pral poser en pile question sur ça. So pral commencer par l'anglais et puis n'a traduit pour tout le monde, okay? So Michael, please introduce yourself for everybody.
Yes. Yes, sir. Okay, so good evening. Thank you so much. I'm glad to be here. I consider it a privilege working for the community, and I've been doing this for 15 years. I was a school teacher for 15 years, so education is pretty much my background. But now I do insurance and mostly health, life, annuities, and I take care of the community when it comes to Medicaid, any kind of help. I visit people face to face. I like to help people directly. And so anything I can do to help would be great. If I meet personally, you get to see me and get to know my background. So
And yes, we already have close to 60 people. Okay, and Mabdi, Eddie Jacques, bonsoir, Jean-Franck, bonsoir, Jean, bonsoir. So yes, Michael gen 15 ans depuis que l'a fait van assurance médicale. Li était un professeur avant ça. But Michael, we were talking about something, and I'm going to go way out of field here. We're not going to talk about insurance. We're saying that you've been in this country for almost 50 years.
yes,
right?
sir. Yes, sir.
Like,
Absolutely.
me, I was thinking like I've done 26 and I thought that was long. So, but you know, we're going to go deep about this a little bit.
Yes.
What have you seen change in 50 years, like in being in this country as an immigrant? Because for me, 50 years in a new country as an immigrant and still standing, that's success in my book.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
In my book, that is success.
Correct.
So what have you seen, man?
Yeah. Well,
Talk to me.
well, I would count my success mostly with God's help.
Of course.
I have to say that first. And my family, my wife of 17 years, and it's been a learning curve living in this country. You have to learn a lot. You can work hard. You have to work hard. You accumulate funds to protect your family. But when you're not that clear as to how things work, it makes life full of mistakes, especially in this country.
That is true.
And things have gotten more complicated, a little bit more difficult, but you know, we always stay hopeful and positive.
Always, me too. I always say stay hopeful. So, imagine on dit que la vie est difficile en pile si que ou pas konn kote ou aller, qui veut dire que choisir un monde qui capable de guider aussi en partie qui est difficile vraiment. Yes, now we're going to go into the insurance world. I have one question that people always ask me because I'm in real estate, right?
Okay.
So the question is, if I don't sell my house, Carl, I won't be able to get Medicaid. I won't be able to get Medicare. So I have to get rid of my house as fast as possible. Can we break that myth for them?
Yes,
You know?
absolutely, absolutely. That's not completely correct.
That's true. I thought so.
Medicare benefits are eligible to anyone who's worked at least 10 years. It's called 40 points or
Okay.
40 quarters, 4 quarters per year. You filed your taxes, you paid your taxes, or even if you didn't pay, as long as you were earning income for 10 years at least, or you were married to someone who at least 10 years were married to them, even if you get a divorce, and they worked, they pay their taxes, they have the 40 quarters, and if they get Medicare, they get a Social Security check, you are entitled to benefits, even if you don't have the quarters.
Let me translate this one for it. Like, okay, that is important. Nous songe que en pile moun toujours dit faut vendre car pour ka joindre Medicaid, faut sou pas vendre car là parce que vous pensez que si vous gain car là, y a perdu Medicaid. So, that's not completely true. Et pas vrai. Pour qui ça, c'est parce que qui sont eligible pour Medicaid. So, ou fait 10 ans à travail, ou à faire taxe, qui veut dire 4 quarters, qui veut dire 40 points. Ou chaque quarter, you buy 1 point, qui veut dire 40 points. Et si que qu'on y a ou même ou gain on mari ou bien madame qu'on fait 10 ans avec, même si vous venez divorcer après, pendant temps ça, moun sa li même li te fait 10 ans travail, li gain 40 points par yo, ou ka eligible tout pour Medicaid. So that is very important because it's one of the things that people misunderstood a lot. I know it's not true, but me as the realtor broker, if I say it, you know, they would have been like, no. So I'm happy I have somebody here today that can discuss that.
Correct.
Because a lot of times people have that idea that, hey, I cannot have the asset. If I have the asset, I cannot do this. Now I'm going to bring the asset into it. Does the asset even have a play?
Okay, yes. Now, there's 2 different ways you can get benefits.
Okay.
Medicare and Medicaid.
What's the difference?
All right. Now with Medicare, usually you have to turn 65 years old and you have to have all the quarters. You can choose to go with Medicare Part A and Part B, or you can choose to stay at your job and get your health insurance from your job. In that case, you don't need to get Medicare A and B. You just get Medicare Part A automatically because there's no fee for that. It's offered to you as an entitlement because you've paid all your taxes for those 10 years. And then Medicaid is different. So Medicare on this side, you got to be 65 years old, Or if you're married to someone who worked 10 years and you turn 65, even if they get remarried, it doesn't matter if you're divorced, you can get your Medicare benefits A and B. And you could also get a Social Security check if you choose.
Nice.
But those are different issues. And then we can do Medicaid as a separate. That's more related to the point you bring up.
Asset.
So if you want, we can go into that.
Yes. Let me tell you, we have about 140 people watching, so I'm gonna tell them about the electricity bill. Je dis c'est premier show là moi, so nous connaissons nous aller dans mon pays courant la Kali. So please partagez live là pour nous gagner plus monde toujours. M'attend tout le monde monter. Martin Fauché, comment est? People are saying that very informative and helpful. Donc, let me translate a little bit. Yes. Gen Medicare, gen Medicaid. OK? So, faut nous faire très attention qui est-ce nan yo qui ont question de asset. So, quand on va poser question, qui est-ce nan yo que asset nan entre là-dedans. So, which one of them the asset actually matter and what does it do? Good, bad. Let's say an example, somebody has 3 houses in rental. Like they're renting 3 houses, and then they live in their house. So that's 4 properties. Yes. How does that affect?
Very good question. Again, it's not related to Medicare. You can get
just
your Medicare.
Medicaid.
Yes.
Okay.
Now, Medicaid, what is Medicaid? It's a program that works state by state. Every state has different criteria, asset requirements, income requirements, limits, and so on and so forth. Florida happens to be one of the better states who work with Medicaid. Texas, Georgia, New York is very good also. But all states have their own programs. And the individual, if you live in New York, you cannot be getting Medicaid in Florida. Doesn't work that way. Whereas Medicare, you could be living anywhere. Yeah, you get Medicare. Your Medicare is based on where you live.
Okay.
But Medicaid is state specific. Now, what does that mean? That means that for the state of Florida, for example, if you happen to be indigent, like you don't have enough income, you don't have enough property assets and so on and so forth, you can qualify for Medicaid. You have to apply for it. Okay. And you could be under 65, you could be 30 years old and qualify for Medicaid. Okay. It's because you need help. And again, it's medical insurance. But it also comes in, food stamps and some kind of income if possible, depending what your age is and what bracket you're in.
Okay. So I'm going to translate for them that Medicaid c'est li même qui gen problème là pour gen trop cob ou gen trop asset, monde qui gen pile cob lan banque, monde qui gen cob lan comme vous 2-3 cas ou mettez dans loyer. Et en pile des fois monde pense que Medicaid c'est leur grand monde. Non, ka gen Medicaid at 30 years old moins et puis Medicaid nan li vient avec tout package dans côté que food stamp là dedans, you gen même bon cob tout. Donc en pile monde toujours pense que oh non, moi gen 65 ans faut me vendre carrément pour me ka joindre help. But en réalité c'est Medicaid là gen pas ka joindre. But Medicare, pas de problème avec ça. Okay, so that's très important. Yes, so now that we have as many people as we can, Michael, if people want to reach out to you, how can they reach out?
Okay, very good. Yeah, the best way to reach me is through my phone number.
I love that.
And I like meeting people face to face. I don't do much of the Zoom call type thing and this. I come to your place. Hopefully it's not too far away from Miami, but I do drive very far. I cover the 3 counties.
Nice.
And I spend my time. I enjoy meeting people.
Okay.
And I enjoy helping people.
What is your phone number, Michael? I'm going to text it for everybody to see.
954-558-3934.
Perfect.
Yeah.
So guys, if you need more information, please do not hesitate. Reach to Michael. Really, Michael, pose the question. The reason why this is important, yes, I know we have a show that we talk about houses, but everything is related. Everything is related. And at the same time, the information is important because you never know. Like we're just talking, when you come in this country and you have somebody that can guide you, help you. Like the other day, we had another gentleman here that was talking a little bit about life insurance, and he was giving some ideas that we didn't know. The same way you're talking about Medicare to Medicare. So that information is important. Jean-Max Rigaud, comment tu bagaye? So yes, now, another question that I have is, now, if, let's say, the person that's receiving Medicaid end up finding work or end up getting better in their situation, do they lose it automatically? What happened?
Very good question. Again, there's an asset and an income limit.
Okay.
And they're published on the internet.
Okay.
And of course, if I visit you personally, we'll go over
You'll
in
go over it,
detail,
yeah.
evaluate where you're at. Are you filing as a couple or
Mm-hmm.
as an individual? As an individual, you could be like separated or
Okay.
divorced,
Mm-hmm.
or unmarried, just
Okay.
single.
Okay.
And there is an income limit. The income limit is not just whether you have a job making money. It could be anything you collect money from. Rental, they consider that income.
Yeah.
Rental properties. It could be alimony or child support. Anything like that counts as income. It could be your Social Security. Maybe you're collecting Social Security. If you're 62 is the minimum age to collect, you can wait till you're 67 or beyond in some cases. That's counted as income. If you have a pension from a job you had and you retired and you were vested, you're getting a pension check.
That's counted
That's
as
counted
income.
as income. So they add all that up, and there is a limit. And I think the current limit in Florida for a single person, at least for 2026, $1,342. It's
Wow,
not that high.
$13,000. Okay.
$1,300
$1,300
per month.
Okay. Okay.
1342. Yeah.
Wow, $1,300 per month.
Yeah.
Mia author said educational and needed. So thank you
Yes.
for being here. OK. Donc, nous comprenons que il dit, dépendamment de Medicaid nan qu'on gagne, minimum, bon, maximum income qu'on ka fait c'est $1,342 par mois. Donc, automatiquement que ou dépasse ça, then ou gen problème. And of course, every year you do your taxes and they report that and every, yeah, okay.
And if I may add something,
Of course, go ahead.
something else, that 1340, I start with that base because that's the one where you get the most benefits.
Okay.
If your income is below that. Now, it could be higher, but then that changes the amount of
The money,
Medicaid. They have
the-
different categories in Medicaid. There's QMB plus, it means the highest amount you can get. And the higher amount your category is, the more benefits, the more food stamps, the
Yeah.
more help you can get. But it goes all the way to like 1,600. It could be higher, but it changes the amount of benefits you get. You should always try.
Okay.
Because if you don't try, how do you know?
Now that comes my next question because Eddie Jack just said something that whenever you're working, they're always gonna force you to pay insurance until you're not qualified. Now, can you combine the Medicaid with something else?
Yes, you can. Yeah.
Nice.
Yes, if you're 65 or older, you apply and you get your Medicare Part A and Part B, you can also qualify for Medicaid, in which case you get the best benefits. Because the different companies, which we're not marketed here, but all the different companies there are, there's many of them. So Lease, Devoted, Humana, United, they're all great companies. They have different plans catering to people who are dual eligible.
Wow.
They have Medicaid and they have Medicare, and they're very, very rich benefits.
Okay.
More than you would get if you only had just one or the other.
So Eddie Jack asked, is it only for people that are not working at all? Then the answer is no, because you could be working. It's just que Eddie Jack y a divisé, so ça ba ouais, gonna pas bon en pile. They won't give you that much, but that's basically it.
Correct.
Now, I have that question because I know a lot of people is asking me, like, let's say somebody cannot do Medicaid. Can they go into what they call Obamacare? Or, so let's enter that world a little bit because I know everybody when they're doing taxes with Christine, I see they're asking for their 1095A. Like, now I'm going to go like I'm crazy. I'm going to ask, what is even Obamacare?
Obamacare, I think it's maybe 17 years old now. It's been around for a while. It was to cater to people who could not get Medicare because they're not 65, they don't have the quarters, or they weren't married to somebody who's qualified and they're not 60. You got to be 65 either way. Now, there's an exception. If you're disabled for 2 years continuously,
then you can get Medicare.
You'll get Medicare automatically. Doesn't mean you get Medicaid, but usually when you're disabled, you're not working, chances are you may even have Medicaid as well. So you'll be dual eligible only after the 24 months has gone by.
Exactly.
Yeah, but Obamacare is designed for people who you have a little bit too much, you cannot get Medicaid. You're not eligible for Medicare. It fills in the gap in the middle. Because unless you have a job, that provides insurance to you, and the amount you pay has to be fair, and that's part of Obamacare. If they charge you way too much in the employee coverage, you're allowed to special enroll into Obamacare.
Obamacare.
That's a good point to know,
No.
because it's based on a certain percentage. It's actually in the contract.
Wow.
Yeah, the government.
So, Obamacare, c'est un bagay ki yo te fait pour moun ki pa kapab joindre Medicare. Surtout ki yo te trop, yo pa gen l'argent, ou bien yo pa marié avec un moun ki te capable eligible. So, that mean Obamacare li même li vin fill gap là in between, ok? Donc, li dit que faut faire très attention avec Obamacare, dans le sens que faut ka konnen qui ça ko appliquer ou bien qui soit approuvé pour lui. Pour qui ça? Parce que si travail ba ou on assurance qui trop cher, ou eligible pour capable aller dans Obamacare pour être capable de joindre qui plus bas. So ça ba pas connait moi-même. I did not even know about that you could change. Hi Jimo Gladys. So now let me ask, Obamacare, for you to be eligible, right? I know it's income based, income driven. That's a lot because they're always asking about those taxes and things like that.
Correct.
But at the same time, I hear people saying, oh, you have Obamacare, you don't have good insurance. Okay. Is that fair to say?
Not necessarily. Not necessarily. They have different categories of plans. They have the silver plan, the gold plan, platinum. Then they have the bronze. Okay. And yes, depending which plan you get, because remember, your income is always part of the play, right? Because if your income is kind of high, you can afford to get a little bit more of a richer plan.
Okay.
Right? Now, the plans that are not as rich, like the bronze plan, for example, they'll have a high deductible. Usually, it's someone who's very healthy and not going through, you're not going to be using it that much, but you don't want to go without insurance in this country. God forbid. So that's the reason why people may say, well, it's not really good. It's better than nothing. I mean, we got to give credit where credit is due.
I agree.
At least
I agree.
There's something available.
It does help.
But yeah, you can get plans that are very, very rich in benefits, low deductible, but then the premiums are higher. And what they do is they do a calculation based on your income. They'll give you a certain, it's called a subsidy. And that's so if your income is high, your subsidy is not as high. Yeah. If your income is low, the subsidy is higher. Okay. And you can use as much of the subsidy as you want, or you can choose to use only a little bit of it. That's why at the end of the year, you got to do a 1095 because they reconcile those numbers. And plus, your income can change.
That's true.
In which case, there has to be an adjustment in the subsidy because it's based on income.
Yep, that's true.
Yeah.
I'm going to go in a little bit technicality here.
Okay.
What is a deductible? Because I know sometimes we hear those, like an example for me in the house, right? I'm going to say it. Please, people, do not say I'm crazy about that. Don't judge me on that one, right? I just found out how hurricane deductible work. I didn't know.
Yeah.
When I heard 5%, I just said, okay, the first 5% I pay and then the rest they pay. It's nothing like that. Okay. So, but again, we assume those things from time to time. So that's why I'm going as deep as this. Like, on the health insurance, when somebody says your deductible is $2,000 or what does that mean?
Very good question. And to clarify, I'll stretch it a little bit more.
Good, of course.
There's something called a copay, usually, with health insurance. That means, let's say you go to the doctor. And like if you have health insurance at a job, you probably know about this already. You've got to pay $50 just to see the doctor. They haven't even done anything yet. It's a copay. Then there's a co-insurance. That means for certain services, in your contract, it may say something like there's a 10% co-insurance. For example, he prescribes an MRI. An MRI could be around $2,000. You have to pay co-insurance if it's in your contract. That means you got to pay $200.
Let me tell them, give me a minute. So, where nous me pose question sur deductible, but Michael went a little further and to go back to copay and co-insurance. So co-insurance, I did not know, so I'm telling you guys. So copay, c'est le que obligé payer pour capable voir docteur. Qui veut dire venir bon $15, $20, $50, me crois que ça arrive nous tout déjà. But co-insurance, quand y a là, ça veut dire que ni ou même ni assurance compagnie n'a payé à deux. Qui veut dire, on exemple, on MRI, qui au besoin font image, Donc là, qu'on y a laissé MRL a coûté $2,000. Et puis, on dit là, contrat assurance, co-insurance 10% pour, qui veut dire que $200 payé, assurance payé 1,800. So that is very important. Sorry to cut you, Michael, but
problem,
go ahead, man.
And then the deductible, that's the main one there. If your deductible is $5,000, a lot of the Obamacare plans have deductible. With Medicare, when you do Medicare, if you do a Medicare Advantage, again, Humana, United, Solis, Devoted, Simply, all great companies, then they eliminate some of those co-insurances and those co-pays. But if you just do Medicare alone, there's co-insurance, there's co-pays, there's deductible. The deductible is a total amount per year, the maximum that you pay.
Okay.
So in other words, if it's $10,000 and your bill is $2 million for that year, $10,000 is all you pay. And your co-insurance can count towards that.
Oh, that was my question. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Yes. So deductible là, c'est qui veut dire que ou gen une quantité comme qu'on supposé dépenser ou même. Un exemple que si deductible ou $10,000 pour année et puis ou à l'hôpital yo coûte $2 millions ou à payer $10,000 seulement. Mais co-insurance encore payant, il fait partie de deductible ça tout. Qu'on paye là tout par ça là-dedans. Now, let's stay in the deductible. Let's say my deductible is $5,000 and I go to the ER or I go to an urgent care and then the cost is $3,000.
Yes.
What happened?
In that case there, well, you haven't reached the deductible yet.
Exactly.
Because the deductible is $5,000. Yeah, you will have to pay
the $3,000.
Yeah, you will. Yeah, you're obligated to pay it.
What?
Now, if you had paid for an MRI in another occasion,
the
all
year
that adds up. Yeah, so you could have reached it, but it's all calculated.
Yeah, but if you have not, that is your bill.
Oh yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, you have to pay that amount.
See, so now it pays attention, guys, that you're looking at what you are choosing. Okay.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna go into it that sometimes that happened to some of my clients that they didn't even know what the person chose for them.
Correct.
Okay, and that is something that we have to get into where we have to pay attention and make sure you understand, which is why I brought you here. So they know, because even in the real estate world, Michael, people would tell me, I didn't know what I signed. I didn't understand what I signed.
I know.
And it's very important that we are educated enough that we know we making wise choices.
Yes.
So Martin Fauché asked a question. What happened when you don't reach the deductible they assign you to? So let's say basically what we just said, you do pay Martin. Now, if you reach it, then they pay everything else.
Correct.
Okay. So that is very important.
Yes.
Now, is there anything that people should watch out for when it comes to Obamacare? Anything else?
Well, again, that's the reason why the way I do business, and I've been doing it 15
down,
years, because even after you sit down, if there's a lot of details that are being gone over, you're not an insurance agent. I'm sure that you see that go in your business. You make sure you're diligent.
Of course.
Repeat again, remind, because
I know that
we forget things. So we're not in the industry. You need several lifetimes to learn real estate, insurance, investments. You got to be good at one or two things, and that's about it. And then you become real good at it, and then maybe you can branch out later. Otherwise, you can't remember all the details. And your agent should be available. You call me, I'm picking up the phone. Because I don't want some other strangers coming around and creating some kind of discontinuity. I want you to communicate with me. If I don't know the answer, I will look for the answer.
Yeah. Hello, Vedette. But ça très important, ça que Michael dit. Michael dit que, comme si, faut choisir mon opéra avec la bien. Okay? Comme si lui-même, il répond au téléphone, qui ça, the one thing I'm going to go back in English and say, it's, I built my career on that. 23 years. Everybody here knows I'm available. You know, it's just, and now that I'm having assistants and I'm having all of those things, I'm still a little bit reluctant. You know, like today, somebody said, I've been trying to reach the office call. I'm like, what? This is my pet peeve. This is my biggest problem.
No, correct,
you know?
Correct. Yeah.
So I
Customer
do understand.
service.
You know, it is very important that we do that. So the reason why I ask about the Obamacare pitfalls is sometimes people don't even know what they're choosing. And I've seen people go on it. They try to do it on their own without the help of anybody, which is something that I'm going to ask you. Is is it something you would recommend someone?
To do Obamacare.
By themselves, like they just
No.
go, they don't understand anything, they just go on the healthcare.gov and they...
You can, because remember, you're not paying the agent. But there's agents. Marlene's very good at it. She's probably a little bit better than me. I focus more on life insurance and annuities and Medicare. Good. She does all that too, but she's very good at Obamacare. But you have to be in the business so you can explain the differences correctly. Analyze what best fits the client. They make the decision what they want, but be careful. Make sure you go over, have you been in the hospital, medications, what's your family history? Because that will determine how well that health insurance works for you and your family.
Yep. Nou tade, nou pa paye Obamacare la, ki ve di chwazon moun ki ka fel pou nou parce pa nou ka paye. So, chwazon moun pa ale la den fel pou kontou. One thing that I love about what you're saying, Michael, is that passion. That passion that you want to help, you want to ask questions, you want to fit the person into the plan that makes sense for them.
That's correct.
And I know a lot of times it's just unfortunate, but it happens in my business, in your world, where you have people that just like, they in it just to do it. And then they sometimes, like, I have a fight with my agents, Michael, where let's say they're new in the business and then they just got a client and they don't read the contract because the contract is just you filling the blank, you know?
Correct.
And they're like, oh yeah, I'm gonna send it to Sam. I'm like, no, you're not. But yeah, I'm like, no, you're not. How do you dare make somebody sign something that you don't understand?
Correct. No,
you know, it doesn't make any sense. So it's the same thing. Like, I feel like even in your world, somebody should never get somebody to choose an insurance policy or anything that they don't even understand themselves.
Correct.
Like you just asked, how often you go to the hospital? I'll be honest with you. I've never been asked that.
Yeah, correct.
And
or
people,
specialist.
You need to be a specialist in what you're doing. And Michael gave us a very wise thing. He said, and everybody knows me, I'm that way. You cannot be great at all of them. Pick your war, pick your poison, and win. Okay,
correct.
That's just what I
become
always
real
say.
good at it.
That I always say.
Work hard and admit your mistakes.
Yeah,
and you learn. You can learn from your clients. You can learn from people you work with
all the time.
That's what life
I
is.
made mistakes, and they know me. I'm always honest about them.
If
somebody comes to you right now and say, "I have 100% customer satisfaction," run.
That's correct. That's correct.
Run.
It's just the way life is.
Look, you cannot. That's the reason there's always gonna be multiple people doing what you're doing because. To each its own. Some person may love dealing with you, and one person may be like, I don't like Michael.
Correct.
And
which is fine.
After 20 years, I've learned not to take it personal.
That's correct. It's business. It's business. Yeah, it's business.
But
we
I
can become friends, but it's business, really. I gotta take care of you, otherwise I'm not doing my job.
That's true. That is so true. Bonsoir, gentil. Okay, so now I'm gonna throw a surprise here, and everybody has to agree. Because it is the first of the show, of the month, and we always pick somebody to pay their electricity bill. So Michael doesn't know the story about the electricity bill. So I'm going to give it everybody in English. So pour parler de pour qui ça nous paye courant. So in 2008, when the market crashed, I lost everything I had. Okay?
Wow.
Everything, cars, houses.
Wow.
And my wife doing that says, I'm pregnant. Right?
Oh.
And then I'm like, okay, no problem. We're going to deal with it.
Wow.
And she got laid off. No problem. We're going to deal with it.
Of course.
And on Thursday, never forget it, 2008, my daughter came home. And then on Saturday, they shut off my electricity.
Wow.
So now here you have somebody that just went to surgery, plus a baby in a house, and you cannot heat milk. You cannot do anything. So I had to ask them to go stay with a friend of mine, and then while I stayed in the house myself because he was in an apartment.
Good point.
And then after a week, another friend of mine paid the electricity bill for me. Right?
Wow.
So I always said when I get on my feet, I will make sure that people do not go through what I go through. So it's been 9 years.
That's a nice story.
It's been 9 years that I'm paying somebody's electricity bill. So
Wonderful.
with everybody here, I'm gonna ask them, guys, if you're okay, si nous d'accord, I would like Michael to pick anybody, that doesn't have to be on the show, anybody you know that could use that, and then I will tell them. So si nous d'accord, so I'll wait. So I'm gonna say it in Creole. Si nous d'accord, nous mettez oui nous d'accord, m'a souhaité que Michael ka choisi un monde, il y a un monde dans vie parler, il y a un monde pas obligé dans choix que m'a payer bill pour un monde dans police. Si nous pas d'accord, nous voulons que c'est monde dans choix, nous mettre dire tout, it's okay, there's nothing wrong. So if they do want somebody to pick from the show, I'm fine with it too. But let's see what they say. We can continue.
No,
do you have any questions for me?
No, I'm impressed with your, I can see your passion, your dedication.
Thank you, man.
And your story of adversity is very moving. It's very moving. But I have a feeling God was there somewhere.
Always. No, always. Always, man.
There's more joy in giving than receiving.
Always. No, it's to me, that is the reason we're on earth. There's a reason why I believe community exists. I don't see the all one for all. I don't see it. You know, it's. I do believe we have to interact among each other.
Yes.
We have to help each other. And I'll be honest. When was the last time you truly felt happy? And to be honest, everybody would be like, "Oh yeah, this moment, that moment." But the true happiness was when you helped someone that was really helpless.
Yes.
If you remember that moment, and you'll be like, "Wow, nothing else in the world mattered at that moment. Not the car you drive, not nothing. You just somebody was in need, and then you showed up, and then you felt fulfilled."
Yeah, that's
So
beautiful.
that means it is what we're supposed to.
Yes.
You know,
I'm a believer.
Um,
I'm a believer because you never know when you may need the help. So there, you see, that's how life goes.
Well, the majority goes. Nobody said no. Everybody says yes. So Michael, even after, if you want, just tell me who, and
I
then
have a
give
name.
me-
I have a name already.
Okay, great.
Yeah,
Then
it's a good client of mine who, and I don't mean to get personal.
Go fast. That's fine. That's
but,
fine.
She
This is
woke
our
up. She
safe
woke up
place.
about a couple of weeks ago, and her car was gone.
oh,
Obviously, she hadn't kept up with the payment, and then she didn't know where the car was. And then, you know, when they store your car, you got to pay for the storage and this and that. She's one of my Medicare clients, single, by herself. She's still working. She doesn't qualify for Medicaid, obviously, because between her work and her Social Security, it doesn't, because she's an elderly person, lives by herself, beautiful person. She works in an ALF type, helping,
Mhm.
not too far from here. And you can tell she has had some rough times going on, but she's a fighter. She's a believer, and she gets through everything somehow, some way. And I love her to death. And I would,
And
that's a great gesture.
your story just doubled us up. We are 207 people now. Wow.
Yes.
You know, the thing about life is you never know.
Yeah.
You just never know.
Yeah.
And you don't know what somebody's going through.
That's correct.
My
That's
team,
correct.
they know that I'm supporting a friend of mine right now that 42 years old. She got breast cancer. From breast cancer, she got ovarian cancer. From ovarian cancer, now she has skin cancer. It's just like, you just never know what people are going through.
Wow.
Me, I haven't heard from her in a minute. I'm like, oh, she went to
Yeah.
Jacksonville. It's like you lose touch with someone.
Correct.
And when you
correct.
finally find it, and then that's when you're like, oh my God.
Wow.
And so yes, people are going through things, and nowadays times are hard.
Yes,
There's no
yes,
doubt.
they are. Yes, they are.
So yes,
We can't forget where we came from.
Definitely.
We can't forget what life is all about.
Yep.
Because it's more fulfilling that way, and you help more people.
No, definitely.
And I take a lot of pride in that, and meeting people with the same kind of spirit. Oh, I just get overjoyed.
Yeah, somebody want me to retype your phone number, Michael. So
Okay.
Michael, what is it?
954
Okay.
558
Okay.
3934.
Perfect.
That's the best way to reach me. And I don't mind even over the phone talking, but I like meeting people. There's a certain camaraderie
Me too.
there when you
Me
meet
too.
someone.
Me too.
And you
I
get
got
to
it.
see their family, their pictures of their grandchildren. Oh, it's like, whoa, life is good.
No, I started that way 20 something years ago, and now I just have to do it. I have to meet with you. Like, I have my agents fighting me all the time, like, Carl, let me make sure they pre-qualify first. I'm like, why?
Yeah.
Like, no,
exactly.
because I don't want to waste. I'm
You
like,
never know.
Let me
Yeah,
tell you,
never
how do
know.
you call meeting someone
Yeah.
a waste of
No.
time? That doesn't exist.
Yeah, that's correct.
I do believe you are exactly where you're supposed to be, with who you're supposed to be, doing what you're supposed to be.
Absolutely.
I do believe that.
Absolutely.
That's why I tell everybody, I never wake up one morning thinking I'm going to rob a bank. That doesn't cross my mind. But if
Correct,
somebody call me and say, hey, Carl, I need a house, this is where I need to be. I'm going to
Correct.
come and see you.
Correct.
You know?
Yep.
So that is very important to me.
Yes.
So I'm going to ask, is there any throughout, because I love sitting with someone that's been there more than I do, meaning that you've been through Miami, through United States,
Yes.
a lot more longer than I do. Any advice for our people, any advice for me, I'll take it, that you can think of.
Yeah, well, I would say, and I'm a financial representative also.
Okay,
You
go
know,
ahead.
Series 6.
Yes,
I
go ahead.
don't, I have to prospect those people more
yes.
effectively, and to be able to help. And I work with a team of other agents who are prudential and equitable, good, and they're pretty much well versed.
Okay.
And I always like to be there because I listen. But they're good agents. But I like, because it's my client. I found somebody. I mean, we want to take care of this person properly. And when it comes to finances, be very wise. Be very wise with your finances. Be careful. Be careful, because most people who declare bankruptcy in this country is because when it comes to health insurance, something goes wrong, this, that, and bam, everything is gone.
Wow.
Your health is important. Very important. Mental, spiritual, physical. You don't want to be using your insurance. The insurance is not to be used, really. It's just there in case.
Wow.
So be careful with that. My biggest mistakes have been with that. And other mistakes,
of course.
too. Listen,
of
we're
course.
all sinners.
I get it.
But when it comes to finances, in 2008, the crash, lost a lot. Foreclosure, this, that, had nowhere, but I had a job because I got a place to rent. Lost everything. Everything was gone because I should have been thinking a little bit more carefully when investing back then, and it was just people were just buying and selling.
I blame myself as well. And I think that's where the growth comes.
It was a mistake.
That's where the growth comes. Once we say that, hey, I should have think a little bit better. I should have done.
Then I started studying finances.
That's when
I'm like, wait a minute, something happened here that seemed so beautiful and so great, and everything just went completely. And I'm like, man, I didn't educate myself properly. Now I'm very educated, but money isn't everything. To me, it's the love for people, taking pride in your hard work. Honesty is important, and to me, serving God is very important.
Donc, I'm gonna translate a little bit because there's something you said about the way that people have to understand. Li passe misère tout, en 2008 même j'en avais, mais li dit que li vin fini par comprendre que li pas konnen en bagay. So là, l'étudier finances. Okay? Like, for me, it was the same thing. When I realized I blame everybody, I'm not gonna lie. I blame my broker. I blame the universe. I blame the market. I blame the guy that sold me the house. I blamed everybody. Until one morning I woke up and I'm like, but hold on. Why is this guy still standing? This guy's still doing good. Something is wrong. And that's when I realized that, yes, the problem was me. The problem was me where I did not educate myself enough.
Correct.
There's things that I didn't know. So right now, what I'm always telling to my crew, to my agents, to you guys is, you may not know everything, but you should know a little something to pick the right person that knows everything. Okay? It is very important. I don't know much about health insurance, but now I know a little bit more. So with that little bit more, I can pinpoint this person is not for me. I can pinpoint that. Because isn't it nice that I'll go to someone and I said, you know what, I'm thinking about Medicare Part A and B. And then the guy was like, what is that? And I'm like, okay, I'm out.
That's correct. That is correct.
So that is very, very important.
We're advocates.
Yes.
We're advocates in our community. If we don't stand together, we will fall separately.
Now, does age have something to do with that learning process that you said about finances? Like if somebody is in their 60s and they feeling like, man, maybe it's done for me. Maybe I made all those mistakes. I cannot recover. What would you advise someone like that?
Yeah, I would say there's always hope. You can never give up, really. I never stop learning. I learn from other people all the time. I learn from my clients because everybody is different, made in the image of God, but different. Life's experiences has taught them different things. And I would say never give up. Wow. You can't. I mean, that's the message that God sends us every day. You can't give up. Even though you're older, it's great if you learn it when you're younger. They should be teaching I was a high school teacher. They should be teaching them about how to spend money, how to use money, what credit cards mean, how to open a bank, take responsibility. I don't think we're doing a great job.
No, we're not. We are being raised as a consumer state. So it's a consumer state of mind nonstop. We do not produce and we do not invest. It's like now, even if you see social media is all over the place, invest in this, invest in that. But what people don't know is 90% of those people, they don't even know what they were talking about.
Correct.
They don't. And it's very hard for people to follow a trend that makes sense, because all of the trends that do not make sense, like you have kids nowadays, Michael, they think if they post something, they're going to become millionaires tomorrow.
No, I know.
They think if they open a business tomorrow, they're going to become millionaire the next day.
Correct.
And that is something that, yes, we have to work on.
Yeah.
And I agree with you. There's no way somebody should lose hope. It doesn't matter if you're 60, 70.
Correct.
I've seen people, like, I just finished reading the book about Walmart. And what people don't know is Sam Walton opened the very first store, and he did not read his lease. The store started booming. He made his first $200,000 in the 1940s.
Wow.
That's a lot of money.
Correct.
Okay?
Correct.
And the store owner, the plaza owner, knew that his lease has a non-renewable option. So the store owner told him it would cost him close to $50,000 a year, which is impossible for anybody to survive with that at that age.
Then.
Yeah, impossible. So no matter what, so the store owner kicked him out, and you know what the store owner did? Tell his son that this business is doing great, so now you can just take over.
Wow.
So Sam Walton had to go to a different state and start over.
Oh.
And today, the biggest employer in the world.
It's Walmart.
Okay?
Wow.
This is not something that you should just say, oh my God, like don't give up. Don't give up.
You got to bounce back.
Yeah, don't give up.
Yeah, you got to bounce back. I've been through a few ups and downs. You've been through
tell me about it.
It's a learning experience.
It is a learning experience.
And we thank God that we're healthy, still in a state of mind where we can still move forward.
Yeah.
The past is not in front of you. It's behind you.
Good.
It's gone.
I agree. 100%.
You repent and you move on.
I agree. 100%. So that's what they bomb back them tragedy, because you guys get this one. Michael did mention one thing about insurance. Like, people get sick and the next road is bankruptcy. Yeah. I want to go back into this, Michael, even for the next 5 minutes, because it happens for real. There was a story, a guy that went with his friend in the Dominican Republic. Somewhere, somehow, they did something or they didn't do something. They got arrested.
Okay.
The guy spent about 2 months or 3 months in jail. He came back to Palm Beach, nothing. Zero. Wow. Had to start over from scratch. Lost the job, of course. Oh, yeah. Okay. The car got repossessed. They did not see him, so they evicted him from the apartment. Oh. I don't know. It was a story on I don't remember where I was reading it from. Okay. Now you can imagine that person probably, it's very hard for them to come back from this. They can. Wow. I can tell you. Yeah. I know they can.
Of course they can.
But it's hard. But what Michael is saying is, you gotta manage yourself a lot better. Yeah. Because living in a world where 2 months and a half out and then you lose everything, it could be, now we're saying jail because, hey, maybe he did something. Maybe he did not. Nobody knows.
We don't know.
But now Michael said, what about you get sick? Yeah. You get sick and you spend 3 months in the hospital because that can happen. And now you come back and you have nothing plus the hospital bill.
Correct.
Okay, so it is very important, and I know you said manage better. So please, if you could give my people some advice on how to manage better, how to make sure certain things like works out for you, please enlighten us. Give us some of that wisdom.
Well, again, I give a lot of credit to people who are around me, my family, and my convictions. Also, it has helped me. I can't give up. I have to keep moving. In fact, there's some things I just heard recently about Medicare for 2027, which will change the industry dramatically. But we can't say anything yet. We don't know. But by the time we hear, it's done. They're not going to tell us why they're going through any processes. But we hope. Again, we keep hoping. I'm not going to let that stress me out.
Of course.
I'm going to move on, one way or the other.
No, I agree.
So I would say that's the first thing is you got to have a strong backbone. And to me, that's number one. Be a good example. And you got to be careful. You got to be careful. Don't try to keep up with anybody. You're an individual. You do what you need to do for your family, and you keep it all in the right place. If you overextend yourself, you start taking risks, there will be consequences. It's not that easy. Again, hopefully you have work, hopefully, and you have to work hard. It doesn't matter what you do. It could be the simplest job there is, but be good at it.
Do it well.
Prove that you're a good person, a good worker, that you care about others, and that will not be unrecognized. People will see that, and it'll open up doors for you that you never even imagined could have opened for you. So you gotta work and do good work. But it's not that I'm better than you because of what you do or what I do. No, we all fit in somewhere.
No.
So take pride in that. And to me, without my spiritual backbone, which I give credit to God and to a lot of people who encourage me, that's how I got as far as I got where I am now, because I've been through some big financial time. Maybe not as bad as yours. No, I'm serious. Not as bad, but still, it was challenging.
Of course.
And you learn from it. You have to become a better person. Otherwise, the past keeps haunting you. Because you're repeating the same pattern. You're not making any improvement. And that's important. And I think education plays a huge part of that.
A lot.
Yeah.
And when you're saying that, it came to me where people ask me, like, do I regret it? And I said, no, I don't. I don't want to do it, but if I have to, I'll welcome it. The reason why it's because the person that I am here sitting today wouldn't be that person if I didn't go through this.
Good point.
The puzzle always fit at the end.
Good point.
So I had to go through this for me to learn what I've learned. I had to go through this for me to respect people the way I do right now. So the way that if you tell me today, Carl, I don't want to sell my house anymore, and I'm like, sure, no problem. It's all good. I'm not going to get upset. I'm not going to, because I understand that people may be going through something that they don't want to talk to you about.
That's correct.
It is very important that we understand that. And yes, I do believe we can always come back. I do believe that, and I admire the way you think, man. I really do. And God,
the feeling is mutual.
God to me is important. God, I'm always gonna bring that in there. God is important, because a lot of times we don't believe we can do things. And I always say, if you're not a believer, you still have to find somebody to believe into, or somebody that believes in you. Because if you don't, at one point you're gonna fall. And my example, the person that I always say discover me, but he always say no, he believed in me. I didn't even know I could be an agent. And look at me today. And today was the best thing when he texted me this morning and he says, hey, can you help my son find a house? I'm like, wow, like, full circle here. You know what I mean? Like,
one hand washes the other.
No, the guy taught me real estate.
Wow.
And then now, it is very important. And I always give one last, Jesse Konnen, how are you? Thank you. We have a WhatsApp group, so Jesse Konnen just posted it. one thing that I always tell everybody, communication. And I'm going to give this story live because a lot of people don't know it. This broker actually is the one that when he met me within 15 minutes, I'm going to go fast because they know that story, where he gave me a car. He the first 15 minutes, just like we just met today. And then he was like, man, go make money. And then I just like said, man, I found somebody that believes in me. And do you see how you keep saying work hard?
Yeah.
He will tell you he never met somebody working harder than Carl.
Wow.
But somehow when the market crashed, I'm going to give that story now. When the market crashed, he got a contract for foreclosures. So the banks were giving him properties to sell. I'm his right-hand man. I'm like, I'm good. And then suddenly someone showed up and the person was like, oh yeah, I'm responsible for all the foreclosures. I'm like, who you? And then now I got a little upset. That person actually started treating me like I'm his assistant. So of course things were a little rough, but I'm going to still give him credit because he called me the nice agent. Correct. So here we are today. And I wrote a book, right? So of course, Brad is the person that gave me everything I have right now. I'm not going to lie. So he has a whole chapter in the book. And in that book, I told him, like, this is what happened.
Wow.
And he just read the book for the first time last week. And I received a text message. He said, I want to apologize. I never knew that I was hurting you.
Oh, wow.
And he said, I'm so sorry. I wish I could have done it different.
Yeah.
And guess what? Yeah. When he's finished, he said, but I want you to know the foreclosure contact came from that guy.
Oh, you see, so you didn't know that.
No, but even him too, he could not have done any different, you know. Wow. And that communication created, you know, a little bit. But one thing is, always respected him, always loved him for what he done for me. Even when we went apart, whatever he needed, I was there for him. Correct. And now that we know, you know, now we finally make closure out of something that's been in the back of my head forever.
That's good.
I'm going to ask you guys, whatever it is that you're going through, pick up the phone. You cannot call, send a text, put closure to it. Because what you think it is may not be that.
That's correct.
Okay? And it took me, almost 18 years for us to find out.
Yeah.
Okay? So, please.
And there is a scripture that actually says you don't want to isolate yourself. God's always around you anyway.
Yeah.
But don't isolate yourself because the human race, we build up one another.
That's true.
That's why we thrive, because we build up one another. We take care of each other. That's our nature.
Not one person made it alone.
Yeah, no way.
Not one person. I've yet to see it. Yeah. Not one. They may talk about one person, but believe me, he's not alone.
That's correct.
You know. So yes, that's very good. Thank you. So Michael, this is where we end the show, and I want to say thank you again for being here. I've learned so much, and I hope everybody learned a lot as well. Yeah. And I cannot wait to help your friend, and definitely I cannot wait to have you back again.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate again being with the community. I can't wait to meet some of you. Dr. Luna's been great to me, and Carl, I'm going to be in touch with you for a long time.
Definitely, and I would appreciate it.
So and I really enjoyed it very much.
Guys, I'm going to finish the show in English for the first time. I love you. You are my family. I can't wait to see you until next Tuesday.
Yes. Thank you.
Follow groupe qui relait acheter Kaipol là déjà. Si vous faites ça qu'on y a. Parce que moi, mon bon ami qui relait The Nice Agent, nous font un travail extraordinaire dans la communauté. Un travail excellent.
Moi, c'est The Nice Agent. Mabdou, chaque mardi, 5h de l'après-midi, Facebook page One Show, pam, live. Vinter de acheter Kaipol. Oui, côté The Nice Agent, a vinn porter toute information ba ou. Que c'est là acheter Kai, que c'est là vendre Kai, que c'est louer Kai, que c'est ranger Kai. Toute information qu'on besoin chaque mardi à 5h de l'après-midi dans Facebook page One Show, pam.
Mes amis fanatiques Kenya Haïti yo, est-ce que nous follow groupe qui relait acheter Kaipol là déjà? Si vous faites ça qu'on y a. Parce que moi, mon bon ami qui relait The Nice Agent, nous font